This episode of Popcorn Poops is brought to you by Audible.com. Please visit audibletrial.com/popcornpoops for a 30-day trial of their audiobook subscription service. When you sign up, you'll even receive a free audiobook that's yours to keep whether or not you continue with Audible after your trial has expired. That's audibletrial.com/popcornpoops for your free audiobook. We are the Popcorn Poops.
Welcome to Popcorn Poops, the best married couple movie podcast / commentary track hybrid audio program on the internet. My name is Jessica, and with me, as always, is my husband, Dustin.
Yo, what's poppin'?
How you doing, Dustin?
Doing very well. Feeling kind of sad that I have to correct myself because I'm always right. And
Right.
You know, I
Yeah.
mean, being married to me,
I definitely know that.
I'm always, yes, careful.
Can't even say it.
Oh my God. I have a correction from last week's show where we covered Blue Velvet. I insinuated that Dennis Hopper had never been in a movie that we've covered on the show before, and that's simply not true. Who could forget his stellar, a really Oscar-worthy performance in Super Mario Brothers?
Right, yeah.
So I just want to
you did
apologize.
him a major injustice.
Oh, yeah. I just want to apologize to Mr. Dennis Hopper. Rest in peace. Good night, sweet prince. And we'll never forget you or your wonderful performance in Blue.
Super
Mario Brothers. Mostly Super Mario Brothers.
As always, you can find us on our website at popcornpoops.com. Follow us on Twitter at popcornpoops or individually. I'm at J. Casper Kramer.
And I am at Dusty Cram Cram.
You can like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on iTunes or Stitcher, and you can also check out the merchandise shop. It's a place where you can buy merchandise.
Branded with our thing.
So if you want to show your poop pride...
Only true pooplings should go to the shop and buy things. If you're not a true poopling, don't bother.
If you'd rather just give us money, that's also an option. You can use the donut button to do that.
That's right. That's right. You can go to our website, hit that donut button. We'd also like to inform you that we have started a Twitch page, a Twitch channel. You can go to twitch.tv/thepixelpoops, where we will be doing some live streaming and maybe some other fun stuff. We're not quite sure yet, but that's go over there and follow us, turn on notifications, and you will know when we go live, and that should be fun.
Every month we have a new monthly theme, and this month has been #1986 month.
In honor of my birthday.
In honor of your 30th birthday.
That's right.
This episode's movie is arguably the best movie of the month, and it is Stephen Herrick's Critters. Mm-hmm. If you're going to sync the movie with us, pause as soon as the title card reading New Line Cinemas Presents completely fades to black. Dustin would be reading us a review on iTunes or Stitcher while you're doing that, except I don't think we have one, do we?
There isn't one.
Oh.
And I couldn't be sadder about it. Poopling, dear Poopling, true believer, if you will. It is up to you each week to make sure that we have a review on iTunes or Stitcher to read on the podcast. Now, we encourage honesty, so that could be a bad review. If you think that we do a bad job, I guess you've got no choice then. You're stuck in a situation, stuck between that proverbial rock.
But I'm not sure why you're regularly listening if you think we do a really bad job.
That's a fair point. That is a very, very good point, counterpoint, as I like to say occasionally. But yeah, if you'd like to leave us a...
But we do appreciate honesty, even though we prefer 5 stars.
Do we prefer 5 stars over honesty?
Oh.
It's a tough call.
It is a tough call.
It's a tough call. It is.
I really like 5 stars.
We're going to leave it up to the poopling's discretion.
True.
Okay? So if you'd like to leave us a rating and review, we'd really appreciate that.
Since we don't have a review, we're just going to go for it here. It's time to start the movie. Sinkers, press play at the beep after the countdown. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
And we're off. You excited about this?
I'm really excited about this, actually.
So we're watching Critters, which is a pretty fun movie.
What's shocking to me about this movie is that I didn't find it until 6 months ago. Something like that.
Yep. That's incredible. that we took this long to get to this movie, and I hadn't seen it before. Like, of course, we've done, and we're going to be talking about Gremlins, and we're going to be comparing it to the little creature movies of the 80s that Gremlins arguably started the trend of.
Did you look up a list of the ones that came out?
I have some in my head. No, I didn't look it up.
Because there was Gremlins and there was Critters and there was what's the Ghoulies?
Ghoulies, Spookies. I don't know that Spookies is little creatures necessarily, but there were a handful.
Spookies? I don't know if I mix them all up. Anyways, I thought for a long time that I had seen Critters. I was 100% sure that I had seen Critters.
What were you mixing it up with?
Maybe Ghoulies?
Probably Ghoulies.
Probably Ghoulies, which is awful. Ghoulies
so bad.
Ghoulies is the kind of bad where it's funny at first, especially if you're drinking, but then after a while you're just like, I want it to be over now. I'm done.
Yep.
Now.
It's not fun. Like it's
not after it's fun at first.
Right.
At first. But then unless you're really drunk and you have a lot of people with you.
Because it ends up just being like this cult movie. I don't know why in my head I conflate it with House of the Devil because they're totally different movies.
House of the Devil?
I know. It's weird.
What?
I conflate them because my disappointment comes from the same thing.
What are you talking about?
My disappointment comes from the fact that it starts out as a fun movie and ends up just being kind of a boring cult movie.
House of the Devil being the one that was made, like a decade or so ago?
Less than, but looks like an 80s movie.
Looks like a 70s, 80s movie.
Also has Dee Wallace in it, like this film.
I haven't seen it in a long time, so I got to be careful about what I say, but I remember liking that movie a lot.
A lot of people really liked it, and I like a lot of it.
Okay, well, we'll have to talk about this later. Right now, what we need to talk about is how this is a sci-fi movie.
Oh, yeah.
First and foremost, Critters is a science fiction film.
These fucking aliens. Look at these glow-in-the-dark face
They have
mask
glow-in-the-dark.
heads.
It looks like something you would buy in the 90s at like Party Supply.
Party City. Go to Party City to get my Halloween costume. I spent $40 on a Darth Maul mask in 1998 or 1999.
You mean your parents spent $40 on a Darth Maul mask?
Sure, yeah.
There's no about it.
6 of one, half a dozen of the other one. It's fine.
You didn't make that choice.
Yeah, this is a movie that tells you right from the get-go that it's fucking going for it. Like, the first thing we see is a title card that says Prison Asteroid Sector 17 Maximum Security, and it's a fucking asteroid prison.
Yeah.
And we get this whole setup with, these little creatures they're transporting across space, like Escape, and get in a little escape ship, and
they have a stupid name for them. They call them Crichtons.
Crites, yeah,
Crites for short.
It would be awesome if they were Crichtons, like little Michael Crichtons.
Say Crichton. Oh, like you mean they look like small,
they look like Michael Crichton, just a bunch of little Michael Crichtons running around saying things like, "This is science, isn't it?"
You need to back up a little bit now.
Okay, fine. We'll do a Michael Crichton month one month.
No,
and that'll be the one that I'm like.
I'm not defending the movies based off of his books. Well, some of them I am.
Sure. I know you love Timeline.
The book.
Okay. And by extension, the movie.
I never said that.
I wanted to draw attention to a cast that just passed, a credit that just passed for the Chiodo Brothers Productions. That would be Stephen Charles and Edward Chiodo, who directed and produced Killer Clowns from Outer Space and did puppetry work on Ernest Scared Stupid and Team America World Police, and they inspired the name of the hardcore band Chiodos, which I listened to in college. That's it. That's all I got.
Okay, I mean, that's interesting, what you just said.
Yeah. People come to this.
Somebody.
People listen to this podcast for that shit, for sure.
But anyways, yeah, it's a science fiction film. Oh, and look at the kid doing this thing where wasn't he trying to do the thermometer trick?
So this kid is the kid in this movie. What's his character's name? Brad Brown. He is trying to fake sick, and he puts a glass thermometer underneath a faucet. And it's the second movie I know, and there could be more. Who knows?
I'm sure there are more.
Second movie I know of in which Dee Wallace, who we're seeing here, national treasure, wonderful woman.
Oh, you're being specific.
Plays a character whose son fakes being sick by heating up a thermometer. But this character actually must be smarter, because when she sees the thermometer, she's like, 106, shut the fuck up, you're going to school. And she doesn't say anything.
But in, is it an E.T.?
I thought, yes, it was in E.T. that
In
she
E.T.,
did that.
she lets him stay home.
Like I said, she's also in House of the Devil.
There's some lines from this dad coming up right now. Starting with the only thing I really don't like, the "Did you wash my bowling shirt" line. I don't know. It's
You said that hit you weird, and I mean,
I always want to
I guess it doesn't
instinctively respond with a "fuck off."
right. No, I get that. Like I guess it doesn't bother me as much because they set this up. Not that I, not that I'm saying that women are subservient to men or anything like that, but this is very much set up as like salt of the earth Americana, very traditional nuclear family. You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying. The cat's name is Chewy. That's fantastic.
Great
the
fucking
dad,
name for a
is
cat.
that honey that he's putting into his coffee?
Sure, why not?
Or is it jam?
Might be honey. Probably honey. I would say honey.
Okay, yeah, it looks like honey now.
And he's drinking. I'd never noticed that he's drinking coffee
Out of a mason jar. And they have a special thing with which he uses to funnel the coffee into the mason jar.
Oh, he's doing like he's brewing the coffee into the jar and drinking it straight out, right?
I don't know.
I think he
maybe
probably is.
Maybe that's what he does. Anyways, and then he puts honey in it. Have you ever met anyone who puts honey in their coffee?
No, but he's, like I said, salt of the earth. He's hayseed dude. He's farmer. Middle America.
Oh my God. And you just lost all our listeners.
Oh,
Thanks.
I'm sorry. Please come back. I won't be Pauly Shore again.
That's the line I
What was
love.
it? Oh, he says you missed
missed-
that bus. Go ahead.
You missed that bus. I'm going to skin you and hang your bones out to dry.
But yeah, I did want to talk about that opening with the asteroid. We got asteroid prisons, we got spaceships, we got weird-headed aliens, we got lasers, we got space bounty hunters. Be still my heart. This
Right?
movie, like right from the get-go, this cast, we
They've got and the aliens are like weird looking.
yeah, and the cast, like I feel like this movie gets off on a really great foot. We got Dee Wallace from the get-go. We've got M. Emmett Walsh here coming right off of the Coen brothers' stunning debut, Blood Simple. We've got Lin Shaye, who is the great, like we've said before on the show, the great unsung scream queen,
Right, yeah.
sister of Robert Shaye, who is head of New Line Cinemas that produced this film. I mean, you've got a lot of really good things going for this movie right from the get-go. The title card comes up and has a little hint of the Thing title card kind of going
yeah,
for it
the
a
way
little
it
bit.
looks.
Not quite as interesting as the Thing's title card, but still good nonetheless. But yeah, and Chewy the Cat, MVP Chewy the Cat, right?
We all love Chewy the
We
cat.
all love Chewy the Cat. And then that opening scene there, the first scene where they're sitting down to dinner, and we get like the sense of like all the characters. We got the little boy who's trying to fake being sick by doing the thermometer trick, which is something we saw in E.T., so that kind of endears us to him automatically. And we got the dad who's spitting out one-liners saying things like you'll hang the kid's bones out to dry and all that shit. It's really like, I feel like establishing that family dynamic from the outset is really a Spielbergian move. It's copying Spielberg really hard, and I do love that family dynamic, and I think that it reminds me of, but is far more successful than the copying of Spielberg by someone like Tobe Hooper, who we mentioned before. We need to do this movie eventually.
I
We
know.
brought it
We
up.
talk about it all the time.
Invaders from Mars. Invaders from Mars is a movie that I just think fails on just about every level.
And the way in which it fails is so telling.
Yeah, and but anyway, yeah, that is a discussion for a different day. But yeah, of course, Lin Shaye and Emmett Walsh, and the things that they talk about, like the way that they set up these characters. It's like, holy shit, these are characters.
Yeah.
In case you were wondering, these are what characters
That's the thing.
look
If
like.
you haven't guessed it yet from the way we've been talking, the surprising thing about Critters is that it's actually a good movie.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
And I don't understand how like at this point I have seen so many horror movies from the 80s, so many of them from the 80s specific. I mean, so many horror movies in general, but from the 80s specifically because I seek them out. The 80s are and you've got to hit the right range. Like it's got to, if it's too close to early 80s, then typically it's a little too 70s for me. So
sure, you've maintained that like.
The first, like, 3
Yeah, the
years.
first 2 or 3 years of a decade is basically just the last
Yeah, it
decade
is,
as far as
yeah.
like media is concerned, and well, pop culture in general, I think. Yeah.
And so like early 80s for me doesn't usually quite do it. It feels a little 70s, but when you hit like 83, 84 on all the way through, and even a bit into the very early 90s, then I'm just a sucker for that kind of horror. So I seek it out and I watch the worst of the worst. But I am always shocked when I come across a horror movie from the 80s that I haven't seen before at this point that's actually good.
Yeah.
And that's this movie. We didn't watch it for the first time until a few months ago.
Well, it has kind of a reputation. It has a reputation similar to Ghoulies.
As being like a knockoff Gremlins.
Right, exactly. And, not to bury the lead, but I mean, and we're not. This movie is superior to Gremlins.
I think so.
I really do. And if you've listened to we did an episode on Gremlins a couple years ago.
And you don't really like Gremlins that much. I
know.
actually do really like Gremlins.
I don't.
Still.
I don't think Gremlins is very good. I think it has tonal issues. I think it wants to be one thing and then it tries to be another thing, and it can't reconcile being the Spielberg kids movie that.
I mean, does
it kind
Gremlins
of
have this?
wants to be, and then it's got like this, like it's I don't know. It's torn between different levels of maturity. And no, Gremlins does not have
Johnny Steele.
Johnny Steele, played by Terrence Mann, just fucking tearing it. Look at that hair.
Look at that hair. And look at this face. Look at this
We haven't-
transforming.
We haven't seen a power mullet like that since a couple of weeks ago when we did Labyrinth. But that transformation scene where like his
It's
skin
awesome.
melts off and then like the blood comes back and then the muscle and the sinew and the bone and all that stuff and kind of forms his new face. It's and we praise practical effects constantly on this show.
Yeah.
But it's a great effect. It's a really great effect, and just another notch in this movie's belt as far as.
And there are problems with this movie, and we're going to talk about them. And one of them has to do with Johnny Steele, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's one of my problems. I mean, I think the biggest problem with the movie, the biggest overall problem, is it all feels very familiar. I feel like it would have felt very familiar even, back in 1986, seeing it for the first time. It relies on tropes a lot, and it doesn't do a whole lot to subvert tropes. There are a couple of moments where it subverts the tropes and the ideas that it's working with.
I mean, even the kid right here.
But it's more than happy to just play with them.
How is he bad? How is he the bad kid? He's the bad kid because he makes stuff that he
Sure.
blows up,
Sure.
right? Like
Yep.
it's a trope. So
Yep, exactly. But yeah, I have a note about that. We did talk about that again during our Labyrinth episode, where we talked about the difference between how girls and boys are portrayed when they kind of are naughty or bad or have their head in the clouds or
Yeah.
whatever, like that kind of thing, like can't focus on the task at hand, can't do the right thing. And for girls, it's always portrayed as they're bubbly, or they've got their head in the clouds, or they're a bookworm and they can't focus on real life and they're lost in a fantasy world.
Right,
And that's
like in
kinda-
Labyrinth.
Like we get in Labyrinth, and I mentioned Belle from Beauty and the Beast. She's kind of looked down upon by the people in the town, but not necessarily the audience. But I think a lot of times the audience is meant to feel that way, and then that character is always supposed to get her shit together by the end of the movie, by the end of the story,
Right, yeah.
and get her head out of the clouds, and maybe possibly reconcile like her love of fantastical escapism with the real world and start to become a responsible person.
Right.
It's different with boys, though, because with boys, it tends to manifest itself as being creative but destructive.
Right.
Like with this kid and the slingshot and the fireworks, the homemade fireworks. During Labyrinth, I mentioned the kid from the Babadook who makes the homemade weapons and
The
stuff like that.
weapons, yeah.
How does that always resolve itself in these movies? That aspect of the boy being naughty is not something that is to be reconciled. It always becomes useful.
It becomes the thing that saves him.
Exactly.
Or his family or whatever.
Having a girl having her head stuck in the clouds, or being a bookworm, or being lost in the fantastical and her escapist nature.
But I mean, usually it does help her do what she's doing. I mean, even in Labyrinth, like, she understands the world and she knows what's going on because she's read stories.
Yeah, I could see that. I don't know. I feel like there's I feel like you have to read that into it a little bit, though.
Yes, I agree. No, it's always directly the boys'
Exactly.
firecracker. Like in this movie, the
boys,
firecracker's going to kill the aliens.
It's a
right?
one-to-one thing, you know, and you know, and that's not.
The gate.
Oh yeah.
His rockets.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think with boys a lot of times it's a one-to-one kind of thing where it's like if this then this. And with girls, if you want to read that into Labyrinth, I think you certainly can, but I come away from that movie feeling like, you know, her hanging on to the fantastical is kind of shoehorned in at the end, and we did talk about that.
Yeah.
So let's stop talking about Labyrinth because we did a whole episode on that. But
anyways, though, this is actually a good movie.
Sweet ass boombox.
Yeah, it is a pretty awesome boombox.
I didn't get to see what that movie poster was.
I know. Every time I
for.
see it, I can't figure it out.
He's got movie poster. He's got posters for the Police and Bruce Springsteen in his room. He's got a very typical 80s. They didn't say this back then, but tween room.
Chewie.
Chewie the cat looks like our cat May.
It does look like May Chan.
It does. And we haven't talked about Don Opper, who plays Charlie in this, who hasn't really had much of a career outside of the Gremlins movies.
You mean Critters?
Yeah, I will do that again for sure. Outside of the Critters movies, but
he's in all of them.
He is, and he's a character that I didn't really care for in this movie.
But by the second movie, I cared.
By the second movie and the third movie and the fourth movie, I mean, like the third movie's fucking terrible, and the fourth movie you can pretty much write off. But at least they tried something different.
So we can talk about the series as a whole because we've seen all of the Critters films.
We have, yes, something connoisseur of the Critters films.
After we watched the first one like 6 months ago, we decided
we were like, we gotta watch all.
We had to watch all of them. So the order of how good they are, I think, goes 1, 2, 4, 3.
Yeah. Correct.
And
objectively correct. Yes.
Yeah. And that's because 1 is just this is an actual good movie. And I'm really serious. If you haven't watched this, and you're a fan of 80s horror, then you are missing out and you need to watch this movie because it's actually a good horror movie. It's ridiculous. It's over the top. It's got that balance that I love so much that like The Gate has, where it's like the Happy Family Spielberg kind of setting, but things are really fucked up.
Yeah.
Like
it, and that's the thing that I feel like this movie has over Gremlins is tone. Mm-hmm. This movie finds a tone and it sticks with it, and it's not playing it safe either. Like I said, this movie fucking goes for it.
And I think Gremlins has that tone a bit, but I think it does get kind of confused because sometimes it gets serious. It gets
really serious,
and then it gets really ridiculous at times.
I mean, the weird thing about Gremlins is the most grotesque thing in Gremlins is a story that Phoebe Cates recounts about her father getting stuck in a chimney
and dying.
On Christmas and
they're
dying.
Serious about it. They play it serious.
I think they play it serious, but I think it might be a joke. I don't know. But again, the fact that we're having to debate this means that there are tonal problems with that movie, you know?
Yeah. And then you really hate the scene in Gremlins where they're at the bar and all the gremlins are like playing poker and stuff.
There's a horse playing scene in this movie with the critters, and it's handled so much better. So much more consistently with what we know of the critters as what kind of characters they are and the level
what
of
they can do.
What they can do. And in fucking Gremlins, they're breakdancing and playing poker and shit.
In the third movie, the Critters franchise stoops to that level and has them destroy a kitchen where they...
Yes.
One of them drinks a bottle of bubbles, and then I called it.
Oh, you fucking called it.
I was like, someone's gonna burp bubbles. And of course, they did.
Before he dies, I want to talk about little baby Billy Zane. Little baby Billy Zane, you're looking so precious. And our cat's trying to ruin the podcast.
She tried to ruin it earlier.
She tried to ruin it earlier by crawling all over the mixing board. So if there are weird things that you hear, that's our fucking dumb cat, as usual.
As usual.
As usual. But little baby Billy Zane, he's looking real cute and precious in this movie, and he's got a little cute little ponytail, and he's got a cool car with a license plate that says "Too Great."
I love when the dad, we missed it, but I love the line.
I'm sorry, Too Great, presumably because So Cool was taken by that douche in Adventures in Babysitting. That's all I have to say.
Okay,
Go ahead.
that's fine. So Charlie, who is, we keep bouncing around and not really talking about. Charlie is the farmhand here, and he's the town alcoholic.
Yes.
And he's the town crazy person who believes in aliens.
Yes.
And which is, I mean, that's a trope, right? Like the alcoholic guy who believes in aliens in the town. Sure. We've got one in Independence Day.
I mean, even if it isn't a specific trope, it's played so confidently in this film that I believe that it would be.
I love this, though. I love that the teenage girl is the one who wants to have sex.
One of the few times this movie actually subverts a trope that it's working with.
Yeah. Because the rest of the time with the girl, they kind of...
And I do love, there's little moments that I love, little passing moments, like Billy Zane at the dinner table, telling Mrs. Brown, I really loved the dinner. Honestly, it's one of the best I've ever had.
Yeah, really, one of the best I've ever had.
And the dad is like drinking from his mason jar, and he just kind of looks at
him over the jar.
Gives him a side look like, are you fucking serious, dude?
Dude, you're not playing it very cool. And there are a few things in that scene. I love the look the dad gives him. I also love the look. There's a moment where, what's the teenager's name?
I just saw a wipe transition. Wonder if there's a little nod to Star Wars, maybe.
Well, and I mean, look at this right here. Yeah. Like, that's not a Star Wars nod.
Well, yeah. It's in space, isn't it?
Well, there were some shots of the ship flying over before that were pretty...
Star Destroyer-esque, yeah. Got it.
But anyways, the teenage daughter, what's her name?
Ooh, why'd you spring it on
well,
me?
Whatever. Anyways...
Well, there's a shortcoming of the movie right there, is the teenage daughter and the way she's treated. April. Oh, man, I wouldn't have guessed that either, and I've seen this movie like 4 times in the last 6 months. Yeah, so that's a problem, obviously. The little kid that played... I'm on IMDb, and the little kid that played Brad, Scott Grimes, grew up to be Louis C.K.
What?
I'm going to show him to you right now. Right there.
Oh, I guess so. But anyways, so when they're sitting at the table, please note, I can't finish the sentence here, but please note that the mom is seeing Johnny Steele on TV.
Yes, Johnny Steele being a fictional rock star in this universe, played by Terrence Mann.
Singing the same song.
Oh, we've heard
repeatedly.
this song. We've heard this song.
Power.
The Power of the Night.
The Power of the Night.
Yeah. Is it something in your pants and
something like that. Anyways,
going to fight.
I mean, you almost get the whole song at one point.
Yeah.
You get most of the music video earlier on.
But they're really driving this home that Johnny Steele is famous
as hell right now.
He's on TV. He's a big personality. Yeah, like.
Yeah, they drive this home, and the mom has seen him on TV. The Brad, we saw him listen to Power of the Night on the radio. That's all we saw him do. Anyways, we'll come back to that later. I'm trying to tell you that at the dinner table while they were sitting there, it's my fault too. I interrupt myself. They're sitting at the dinner table together, and the daughter, April, rubs her boyfriend's leg under the table with her hand. She gives him a little like, we gonna, you know what's coming later. And she does that, and across the table, her mom gives her this look, and and it's the best, because instead of being like a reproachful, like, oh, how dare you do, she gives her this look where she's like, girl, I know what you're doing under the table. That's okay, honey. like it's this little smirk.
And then the dad is totally clueless. There's another great moment when, April and Billy Zane.
Oh, as they walk out the door.
They quickly dismiss themselves because they've obviously got better things to do, sweatier things to do. And the father looks at
and
Dee Wallace.
He's trying not to go too.
Right.
The boyfriend. He's like, you sure?
Really, we still kind of hungry.
Like, he's real nervous about it. He's terrified of her dad.
This girl wants to fuck.
Yeah.
sorry, and sidetracked me a little bit. The dad looks at Dee Wallace and says, have you talked to her about the way things are? Is that what he says?
Have you, talked to her about the way things are?
And just totally calm and collected, Dee Wallace says, years ago. And his response is, again, it's good. Like, it's a great little exchange where he's like, years?
Years?
Really? Like, how far out of touch am I that I don't know this?
Yeah. No, it's great. It's great. Guess
what
that's called?
Characters. That's called characters.
That's characters. That's character development right there. And it's done well. And then we go back, and here we are with crash landed spaceship.
There was a whole thing about, we had to establish that the parents weren't really cool with Brad, making his fireworks and being the destructive little shit that he is. And the way we kind of come to that, or the way they make that come to a head really early on, is Charlie, who's kind of Brad's friend as well as being
I was
the
trying
farmhand,
to talk about this. Go ahead.
He breaks Brad's slingshot. And he swears that he can fix it, so he fixes it, and he tells Brad to get a tin can, and he puts it up, and as he's trying to shoot the tin can, he accidentally hits April in the ass. And Brad takes the fall for it, right? Because
which shows him to be not actually a shit. He's actually a really good person. He's actually a really good boy, I would say. I get why, as an audience, we're supposed to accept that Brad would take the fall for it and Charlie would kind of stay quiet, because we're also introduced to this element that Charlie, being the alcoholic and the town, loon, is kind of on thin ice as far as his job is concerned. That someone gave him this job as a favor. You get that feeling.
Maybe it's the father, the Brown family gave him this family.
Someone's taking pity on him and trying to help him.
There's this line where the father says, do you like this job? Do you like working here? Or something like that. And he's like, oh, yes, sir. And he's like, well, I need that carburetor fixed by the end of the day. And so he goes off and he fixes it. So you get that. But at the same time, it's hard for me to buy because it was an accident. It was totally an accident.
But my thing that I don't understand, I think that if Brad were a good person, which I think he is, I think I said he was a bad boy earlier, but he's not. He just makes right. He's a naughty boy.
Right, he's naughty. Not bad. Yeah.
But anyways, he has a very good heart, obviously, and he's a brave kid, and we are shown all of that stuff throughout this film. And I think the thing he would do with the character that he is would be to not tell on Charlie. Sure. I think he would take the fall for it. Here's what I don't understand. What I don't understand is he never tells his parents it's an accident, though. Right. That's the part I don't understand. Right. I think that still taking the fall for it is fine. But when the dad's getting mad and stuff and he's like essentially grounded or whatever for it, I don't understand why at no point he's not like, look, I was trying to hit the can. I didn't mean to hit her with it. And he never says that. I mean, thinking like a kid, that's immediately where I would go.
Hell yeah.
So, but whatever, we're nitpicking about it. Because there was a great line after it where he's saying, I don't know, he's trying to get out of what happened without saying it was an accident. But the dad says, this is not a democracy.
That is a great line.
And it's a great line.
Like, all of these people, and this guy's a shithead, the guy we're looking at now, the deputy, but he's a shithead that is also a character. And
right, yeah.
He's set up as calling in all hours of the night because he's third shift. He's, working all night, driving around.
And he uses his little code and stuff unnecessarily.
He uses his radio to talk to Lynn Shay, who he's got a thing for, and he asks her out for donuts. He's like, when I get off in the morning, do you want to go get donuts and coffee? Every single night. And every single night she says, no, I've got to wash my hair. No, I've got to do this. No, I've got to do that.
Or what? Like, we're set up to believe this is what happened.
Like, he gets like 90-second screen time tops, right?
And we know his character.
And we know,
it's
like,
not just
at least that.
Like, it's that he's the kind of guy that is in this town that probably has 2, maybe 3 police officers, and he's using codes and stuff when he calls in, right?
Yeah.
Like, and it's just like, oh my God, please don't.
He takes it a little too seriously.
So it's very much like that's a character. That's a real character. So
yeah, and like I think that he's even like there's even a little bit of he gets a tiny bit of depth. Like there's another layer to his character because when he gets run off the road by the critters, he thinks that it's a dog.
And he goes to shoot it.
Yeah, he pulls out a gun and he tries to find the dog so he can shoot it. And it's like, oh,
Whoa.
I don't feel so bad for him now. Like, at first I was just like, oh, he's getting turned down. And then you see that level where it's like, you can see maybe what Lin Shaye sees in him that she doesn't want to have any part of. And that's all we get. We get
Man,
those.
I loved that moment, the eyes in the window.
Yeah. The two character beats right there that kind of, establish and justify his death, and then he's gone. Like 90 seconds of screen time. It's great. It's like, it's pretty good writing. It's tropey, but it's good.
Yeah, and then here's another line. I'm just going through as we're going through this. This was one I loved. After the teenagers are in, they leave, and by leaving, they drive to the barn.
Yes.
And they park the car behind the
Yep.
barn, and of course, little brother sees them.
Oh yeah, Brad sees him through
And
the window.
and you see him getting some fireworks, and again, good writing. We know why he has the fireworks on him, because they're going to save him later. Why does he have him on them? He has the fireworks on him because obviously he's going to go and blow up his sister while she's screwing around in the barn.
Yeah.
What else would you do if you're a little boy and your
Yeah.
teenage sister's
Duh.
getting it on with a boy in the barn?
What else do you do if you don't have Nintendo?
Right. You're
Come on.
going to go and you're going to try and, get him with firecrackers. Except that his are really dangerous, and I wonder, like, he probably could have burnt down the whole barn
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah,
dismembered
definitely.
his sister.
Yeah, sure. I mean,
mid-coitus.
Billy Zane is doomed any way you slice it.
But anyways, though, we know why he has the firecrackers, and they don't have to tell us. They don't tell us anything. We just see him look out the window, see his sister go in the barn, and see him pick up the firecrackers, and you're like, yeah, I know what he's going to do. And then we don't question it when he has them later. Anyways, when she's in the barn with him, there's a great line while they're making out, and Billy Zane says he didn't like me eating his food as a way to get out of, like, he's scared about
Yeah.
screwing her in the barn.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, so we're supposed to draw that connection that he's not going to like you eating his daughter? Like, because that's the only place that line goes.
You just walk back into the house like half naked and sweaty, like, really, she's like the best I've ever had. But she has this weird quote when the alien ship crash lands and they're making out. She says, "The Earth moves."
Yeah.
And then he says, "Oh, already?"
Oh, I thought he said, "Aw, really?"
I think he said, "Oh, already." Or, oh, really? And I was looking it up and I couldn't find any reference to what the Earth moves. What is that?
Well, if he said, "Oh, already," then does she mean, is that like a euphemism for an orgasm?
Is it?
I mean, I've never heard it.
I've
but-
never heard it either. Is that how? Because they're still dressed at this point and they're just making out, kind of maybe dry humping or something. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibilities, I suppose.
I don't
but
know. I don't know.
I don't know. I found that really strange because the wording is strange. The Earth moves, and he says, "Oh, already," or "Oh, really," and that's it. What a
Yeah.
weird line.
Yeah, it is weird.
I thought it was a reference to some book, and I started looking it up, and there was some Ernest Hemingway shit that came up, but it was like, I don't know.
No, I didn't think it
wasn't
was a
wrong.
book reference. I just thought it was a weird line.
Yeah, weird line. I'm not sure. We were talking about the writing. I just want to mention the writer Dominique Muir. This was his first film that he ever wrote.
Really?
And unfortunately, he spent most of his career. Actually, the next few movies he did after this were the English dub scripts for some martial arts martial arts films, Asian martial arts films. And then after that, he spent the vast majority of his career writing full moon features under the nom de plume August White. And then he died in 2010 at the age of 48 due to pneumonia.
Do you have any list of the full moons that he worked on?
I can pull it up real quick. Dominique Muir he wrote a bunch. I know he did some of the Evil Bong stuff. Let's see, writer. Starting from most recent, Ginger Dead Man versus Evil Bong, Unlucky Charms, Devil Dolls, Killer Eye, Halloween Haunt, Evil Bong
I've seen
3D,
Killer Eye.
Puppet Master, Axis of Evil, Skull Heads, Garfield's Pet Force, and not Full Moon, Evil Bong 2, King Bong, Dangerous Worry Dolls, Decadent Evil 2, The Haunted Casino, Broke Sky, which I don't think is Full Moon, First Evil Bong, Petrified, The Ginger Dead Man, Doll Graveyard, Decadent Evil, Contract Killer, American Hero, Meltdown, The New Legend of Shaolin, Island of Fire, and Critters. That's his
I mean,
entire.
That's
oeuvre.
really weird because like when I'm thinking of the ones that I do know off of that list that I've definitely seen, like Ginger Dead Man and The Evil Eye and stuff. Like, I mean, they're typical full moon movies is how I'm going to
Sure.
put it, right?
Yeah.
Like, so
They're
I don't
trash.
I don't think they're intended to be good.
They're trash in like not even a really fun way. Like I don't really like the full moon movies.
I do like the full moon movies.
I know you do.
I do enjoy them. But anyways, I also recognize, though, that they are intentionally bad movies 9 times out of 10. And that's not always the case. I think some of them aren't intentionally bad, but I think most of them are intentionally bad. And the writing shows in that. And this is not like that. This is a well-done movie.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and
I think the writing is okay in this.
yeah, I like the writing. I mean, it's really
It's solid, I think.
it's run of the mill, but it's solid for
Yeah.
sure. We just saw the first alien attack, the first creature attack, not including the deputy here, the one where we see him out in the open. We get our first pretty good look at the Krite design, which is phenomenal, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I want a Krite plushie, but unfortunately, I don't think there are any produced. I can't find like any merchandise based on Critters, and all I want is a little fuzzy toy
God,
to
I
put on my
know.
fucking shelf. Is that
know.
so hard?
But I want more than a little fuzzy toy. Like, I want it to be full on.
An animatronic.
Well, no, like I would really like 2 versions. I'd like the round ball version one.
Very clearly inspired by Tribbles from
Tribbles,
Star
yes.
Trek, right?
Yes.
Well, Tribbles with a healthy dose of methamphetamines, maybe.
And I love Tribbles. And I actually do have a stuffed Tribble, so I could just pretend that's a critter.
Nope.
But
Not going to do it. Not without like the 8 rows of teeth.
But that's what I'm saying, though. Like, when they're in ball form, they look just like very large tribbles.
Yes.
But when they get up on their hind legs and you see their mouth open,
And their little tiny arms.
Oh my God, I love it so much.
They're kind of, they are what the Japanese would call kimo kawaii.
Kimo kawaii for real.
So like uncomfortable but cute, like
Yeah.
creepy but cute.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love them so much.
We did see that in that alien attack against. This is the hint right here. That's shot right there of the lamp and the scissors and all that stuff on the table. That was our hint for this episode in our weekly movie still identification game. Nobody got it. Guess it was a little too obscure. But yeah, the
Deep cuts.
The Krites knew how and where to cut the power and the telephone lines.
They're smarter than you think.
They do communicate. They do actually talk.
They do communicate, and they have one of the best lines in the movie.
That's true. Yes, they do. Just the one line, just the one word. Yeah. It's coming up.
It's so great.
And you mentioned this last night. I love how the parents are really the first ones to see the Krites.
Right?
There's no bullshit dicking around with kids trying to convince their parents that these things exist. Dee Wallace sees it first in the window, and then it fucking attacks Dad brutally. Like Dad gets bloodied up, and that's not the first time. Dad gets fucked up in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Fucked up bad, and Billy Zane is getting killed right now as we speak.
And that's the thing about this movie is that we're about a little bit over 30 minutes in. Mm-hmm. And it's like we spend 30 minutes developing character. That's what this movie does. We spend 30 minutes building the world, and that's not a small feat in this movie because we're not just building if you just want to talk about like the Kansas area, America world, like we build that, and that's fine. That wouldn't be difficult to do in 30 minutes. But we build a world that has aliens with the bounty hunter system, and asteroid prisons and all of that at the same time.
Yeah.
And like the whole culture behind the bounty hunters and the physicalities, like the powers they have, the things they can
only
do.
really expound on in the sequels. Like they build that up a little bit more even in the sequels where like at a certain point, I think at the end of the second movie, we hear that the Krites are an endangered species.
No, it's the end of the third movie.
Oh, is it end of the third movie?
Yeah.
Damn it.
And it's stupid.
Okay, well, whatever. But they do definitely work on lore throughout these movies.
They do a little bit.
Oh, this is a great death.
Oh, it's the best.
It
death.
is the best.
Just wait.
It's the
just
best.
Wait, just wait. Oh God, it's so cute.
Where he eats that firework and just you expect
the explosion.
you expect him to blow up into bits, and he just kind of goes. And smoke comes out of his mouth.
Falls over.
And he just falls. And that's all they do is like they'll hold the puppet up with the string and then just drop the string and it just rolls over. It's so amazing.
It's so wonderful. It's the best. It's the best because you really are expecting. You're like, oh, we're gonna get a big explosion of the and that would be fine. I would like an explosion of a critter, and I think we do have them explode a few times when they get shot and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's so much more better. So much better.
I mean, that is as good as the critter deaths go in this movie. But if you really want the critter deaths amped up or ramped up, I guess, watch the sequel. Watch Critters 2. The human deaths take a step back, kind of take a backseat to the critter deaths, which are so much better.
It is like everything that the second movie lacks in terms of story and character and all of that, everything that it lacks there, it makes up for in just there are a lot more critters and they die a lot and in various ways. And isn't that really what you came here to see?
Yep.
So like we've said, the second movie is pretty good too. It's not as good in terms of writing. Like the story just isn't as good. The character development it's just not there the way it is here. And it does feel a little loose. It's a holiday movie. It's an Easter movie.
It is an Easter movie. Not too many of those that don't star, the big JC.
Yeah, it's an Easter movie. So that's interesting too. But the thing about it that's for the win, there was a giant critter ball.
Before he goes away, I want to say how much I love the fact that this bounty hunter who didn't have anything to transform into, he kept saying nothing. He was saying nothing likes me, which is the shape-shifting equivalent to I have nothing to wear, until he sees the dead deputy and he transforms into the dead version of the deputy. Yeah. So he just looks like a fucking zombie, and now
it's great.
Now he's transforming again and making poor Montrose Higgins. Montrose Higgins is a great character actress who plays the organist in this movie, has a couple of lines. You might recognize her as, I think she played the grandmother in the famous Jet Jackson.
Okay.
Nothing? Okay.
No.
All right. Moving on.
Anyways, yeah, we were talking about 30 minutes into the movie. You're 30 minutes in, and they spend the first 30 minutes of this movie building not only the world of this Kansas City small town, but Kansas small town, yeah. But also this sci-fi world that's out there and that invades this town. So they spend 30 minutes doing that, and then they just get right to it. And in any other movie like this, we would have had all of this, dicking around where the parents wouldn't have believed the little kid, and maybe the sister would have seen it first, and then they both would have tried to tell the parents, and then they still wouldn't have believed him, and then finally at the end, like, they would believe him, whatever, right? Like, he probably would have been grounded
this movie
again.
Is brisk. It can keep itself going, and like one of the things I really like about this movie, and we just saw a good example of it, is the bounty hunter storyline. I feel like every time we come back to the family, they're either in a state of recovery or being attacked, right? They're either recovering from an attack or being attacked, and sometimes both in the same scene. And then we cut away to see what the bounty hunters are up to. And I think the bounty hunter storyline really effectively breaks up that narrative and kind of gives us something else to do for a little while. And then we come back to the family, and it gives this movie a really incredible sense of pace. I feel like this movie is always moving. It's short as it is. It's less than 90 minutes. It's like 85 minutes or something like that. Yeah. It's brisk, easy to watch. I mean, perfect runtime. There's not a whole lot of, and we're bringing it up as it goes, but there's just not a lot that I don't like about this movie, aside from just
I'm nitpicky with it.
The
the stuff that we'll talk about when we get to it, I'm nitpicky with.
I do love Dad's bowling shirt. That's a bowling shirt. You mentioned that you hated the fact that he asks his wife if she washed his bowling shirt. You want to tell him to fuck off. I want to say, can I have your bowling shirt? Because it says his bowling team is apparently called Pin Busters, and it's Ghostbusters inspired image with a bowling pin that looks like the ghost in the logo with the circle slash through it and everything. It's pretty great.
Time to talk about one of the things that I think is weird in this movie.
Okay.
Are you ready for it?
Nope. Yes.
The time that people do things that's supposed to be normal in this movie.
We just got a really good look at a critter, and they're wonderful.
They are wonderful. I love them so much.
Go ahead. Sorry.
And I love them when they roll too. I think it's so cute when they roll too.
I don't want to
rolling.
I don't have anything to substantiate this other than just, what it looks like, but I feel like maybe the critters inspired Sonic the Hedgehog a little bit. Maybe.
I don't know. We could be hopeful. Look at it rolling. It's so adorable when it rolls.
Or maybe real hedgehogs inspired critters, and then in turn the critters inspired Sonic the Hedgehog with the roll.
I like how they're different sizes. I like how some of them are bigger because they've eaten more already.
Yeah, that one busting through the fence was awesome. Look at this. Dad's getting fucked up again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Half of this movie is Dad getting fucked up so bad. It's great.
Yeah. And then here, I don't know why she hesitates to hit him. This is something we do have to mention. One thing about this movie, and it's the whole series, and I think finally in one of the movies they get it right. It actually might be in 3. But the one thing about this is I always wonder why they don't just kick them.
Like, that's my instinct. When I see a little creature like that is approaching me threateningly with its mouth open, screaming, growling, snarling, and if it's that size and that shape and that fluffiness, I'm gonna kick it.
It's gonna get kicked.
Not to say that I kick small dogs that approach me, but if it looks like a critter,
right. If I already know that this animal, is lethal and is trying to kill me, because maybe I've already been seriously injured by this animal, as Dad has, at that point you start kicking. You kick it. And I think it's in the third movie where someone finally kicks one of the critters, and it does exactly what you think would happen, and it flies away and hits a wall or something and drops dead. And you're just like, that's all you had to do, guys. You just kick it. But, oh no, there it is. The best line.
In case you're not watching the movie, one of the critters says, "They have weapons," and the other says, "So what?" And Dee Wallace comes out the front door with a shotgun and blows one away, and the other goes, "Fuck."
It's wonderful.
It's just subtitled. It's just them going, rah, rah, rah. And somebody, I guess it was the writer, somebody working on the movie, I have the note in here somewhere. Actually, let me jump to it and see if I can find his name real quick. Corey Burton, who voices the critters, came up with their language, which he described in interviews as combining elements of French and Japanese.
What?
Which I don't hear at all. I just hear rah, 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 rah. That's it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not paying close enough attention.
Let's be real here.
Let's.
Okay, so back to my actual...
Oh, also, Gizmo never said the word fuck, so Critters wins automatically.
Oh,
by
true.
default.
Okay. So back to what my problem is with this movie. And it's not my problem with this movie, but this is a nitpicky detail that drives me crazy every time I watch this. This little town, what is up with people in this little town? That presumably you would assume this is the kind of place where, stuff isn't open on Sunday.
Sure.
And everything closes at about 6 or 7 o'clock,
Sure.
right? Like you'll have the one diner that stays open till midnight maybe.
Right, but it's because it's got a gas station attached to it and truckers come through and that kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like this is the kind of place that everything closes. It's a little town. And instead, we also know, here's the other thing we know, it is warm outside. And it was shot in Kansas, right? Mm-hmm. Looks like Kansas, so we can assume it's Kansas. I think that's a safe bet. It is warm outside. Kansas has the same kind of seasons that we have here in Tennessee. Similar, at least. This has to be summer or early fall or late spring. Just by the way they're dressed, that has to be what time of the year it is. And so that means that when they're bowling, they keep talking about this bowling tournament that they're going to, and we're at it right now. We're watching the father miss the bowling tournament. The bounty hunters are here instead. It wouldn't be dark in this town till at this time of year. Probably 8 o'clock's a good guess.
Sure.
At the time of year. It could be later than that when it gets dark. Maybe a little earlier, but probably a good guess at 8 o'clock. They had dinner at the house when it was already dark out. It was already dark outside, so we assume that's 8 o'clock. Then Mom had time to do the dishes, lounge around, watch TV while Dad was in the bedroom. Then Dad has time to go search for the critters in the field and then come back. And all of that happens before she even mentions, or maybe she mentions after dinner, but even mentions them getting ready to go to the tournament.
Right.
Okay.
Which is happening right now.
Right. This tournament starts at, I'm guessing, 10 o'clock at night.
11 maybe.
Midnight. And if that wasn't weird enough, then we saw a church service happening.
Yeah. What day of the week is this?
I don't know, but it's a weekday.
It's got to be a weekday.
Because the kids went to school.
So, I mean, like, the only thing I can think is Wednesday service.
And for it to be this weather outside and the kids to be in school, it has to be, like I said, late spring or early fall.
Right.
Those are the only options.
But you were right when you said you have to nitpick in order to...
I know, but it makes me so crazy every time. That we talked about the pacing being good in this movie, and I think it is really good pacing, but I think that detail about it always makes me confused.
The only thing that they would have to change is make them eat dinner while it's daylight out. I think the only thing that they wanted to get across is that they're not eating lunch.
Yeah.
And if you've got daylight out, people assume that you're eating lunch. I don't know. For you read into that, okay, they're eating dinner now and it's got to be 8 o'clock at night and they're going to this thing and they're sitting around and you just see the time like wasting away, just the time passing by. And I don't think of it that way. I think that they're probably, it's a directorial choice. It's the director saying, okay, we have to convey cinematically that this is dinner. How do we do that?
But it's
Eating,
also
nighttime.
It's that I think the one that kills me is that Mom has time to sit down and watch. She has time to do all the dishes then sit down and watch TV, and she looks very relaxed and casual.
And for what? Well, I guess we haven't said it yet. Well, I mean, we can say it now. What is the purpose of her watching TV if she's not, and she hasn't met him yet, if she's not going to recognize Johnny Steele? Which is another problem that we have with this movie, is that the movie spends so much time and it's not that it's a long movie, but a good chunk of runtime real estate conveying to us that Johnny Steele is famous.
Right.
And no one
They play that song so many times in this movie.
No one fucking recognizes him.
Except Brad.
The first person to recognize him is Brad.
And we never saw Brad see Johnny Steele. We saw him hear the song Power of the Night.
Right.
But we've never seen him see Johnny Steele on TV. And the thing about it also is, I'm gonna be honest, I don't think Brad would be listening to Johnny Steele and care what he looks like. Now, April, the teenage daughter.
That's a really good point.
The teenage daughter, she's going to know what Johnny Steele looks like.
Yeah.
And I assume.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
No, I think you're right.
But for the character we have developed here, I'm going to assume, just look at her earrings and stuff. I'm going to assume that this girl likes popular music.
Yeah.
Because that's an easy assumption.
I mean, Brad likes popular music, but he likes The Police and Bruce Springsteen.
Right. We saw the posters on his wall.
Right.
He doesn't like Johnny Steele.
No. He likes classic rock. He doesn't like hair metal.
He would not know what Johnny Steele looked like. She would know. The daughter would know.
He might know.
Maybe. But the teenage daughter would definitely know, and the mom would maybe also know. I could see the mom maybe also knowing. And I thought that's what we were setting up when we saw her watching him on TV, and you were like, oh, okay. So we know the teenage daughter likes Johnny Steele, but the mom's gonna have a little crush too. And neither of them recognize him.
Speaking of Johnny Steele and the bounty hunters, another thing that's kind of weird to me is that they're so concerned with transforming into humans so that they look like humans, but I don't really understand what the point of shape-shifting into a human is if you're not going to dress and act like
a
one.
human.
If you're not going to dress and act any differently, then what's the point? I mean, because they still act like weirdo aliens, and they still look like
I get what you're saying,
weirdo
but
aliens.
I think they're just doing like the minimum amount of effort required to blend in.
There is like a weird kind of wasted opportunity here as well with, you know, this bounty hunter who dresses weird and like an alien,
Look at that critter getting melted.
transforming into a rock star, where if someone sees a rock star wearing weird things out in public, they don't think anything of it because they're a rock star, you know?
True.
So they don't play with that at all. I don't know. That just feels like a missed opportunity. Not to say, you know, not to talk about things the movie didn't do, but
let's talk about the fact that this movie is more satisfying in terms of the cover of Ghoulies than Ghoulies is.
Oh my God, I feel like it's a slap in the face. Like I feel like it's a.
Did this come out after Ghoulies?
Yes, I believe it did. Yes.
Maybe it is a slap in the face. Do you remember Pooplings, the cover of Ghoulies? Because it was in my mind as a child. It was one of those covers.
This did come out after Ghoulies. Yeah, that's right.
It was one of those covers that every time I saw it.
Ghoulies was 84. This is 86.
Every time I saw the cover of Ghoulies at the video store, I'd stop and like look at it or pick it up.
Yeah.
And because if you recall, it's the cover that has them coming out of the toilet.
Yes.
It's 3 of them, right?
2, I think.
Two or 3, and they're like lifting up the lid, and they look awful, and horrible, and you're thinking, oh my God, what if that, you know, was there when I was on the toilet, and it's like this potty humor mixed with horror, like the perfect thing for a kid.
It is designed to catch a kid's attention.
Mm-hmm. Right. And of course, it's an incredibly disappointing movie for many reasons, but the number one reason is because no ghoulie gets inside any toilet ever.
Or comes out of one. There's no toilets involved at all. It's bullshit.
Yeah, it's a lie.
But in this movie,
one of the critters catches fire and rolls into the toilet.
And then comes out later. So, Ghoulies writes a check that Critters is forced to cash, making Critters the superior film.
Well, I mean, it's superior for many reasons.
Yes.
But one of those reasons is that it gives you, like, if you don't have a better reason to watch Critters than just us telling you that you really should, then remember that cover from Ghoulies that I know you saw in the video store as a kid. And remember that cover, and remember how disappointed you were when you watched Ghoulies and there were no creatures coming out of the toilet. And then you just watch this movie and you will be satisfied and your life will be complete.
We didn't mention this, but I wanted to because Dee Wallace has a real awesome freak out scene where she says to Brad, why don't you go check the windows? And he says, I already did. And she says, well, check them again. And she starts losing it. And it's a I don't know, like it feels a little bit out of place, but she's so good. I don't know. That's what one might call an Oscar clip.
So here is a moment here's another thing I don't like. I think this may be the last one that I don't like in this movie. The last actual thing I have to talk about not really liking. We'll see if there's another one. But kind of like a big I don't like this one is the way the sister kind of gets shit on in this movie. We subvert the trope of sex with the sister being the one who wants to have sex, and the boyfriend being kind of nervous and not really wanting to. So we subvert that, and that's great, but it's not enough to hold up what happens afterwards.
Unfortunately, it's the only characterization she actually gets.
It is the only characterization she gets, and this right here really does a lot to her character negatively just by what's happening with the brother here. And what this is that she's older than him, I'd guess, by at least 3 or 4 years. I think she's probably about the same distance and age as me and my brother are. Would you say that's about right?
Yeah, probably.
And I cannot envision a situation where something like this was happening and there was some dangerous thing that needed to be done. In this case, it's that the parents are incapacitated and the little...
They're beyond it. I love how beleaguered the family looks.
Oh,
they
yeah.
are in a bad way, and it's. I mean, they.
Yeah.
I buy it.
And the only option right now is that the boy is going to go and he's going to take his bicycle and go to get help.
Yes.
But the sister is fine. She has not been injured.
Right.
She is fine. If she does have any injuries, they're minor, but I
She's
don't think
older.
she has any.
She's
and she
stronger.
is like 4 years older than him.
Yeah.
And I cannot envision a situation in which something bad was happening like this and something dangerous needed to be done to save the family, and my parents would say that my brother should go instead of me, or insinuate that he should, or allow him to. I don't think they would have allowed him to go instead of me. Just solely for the fact that I was older. I was the older sibling.
Yep.
And of course, why does the little boy go? Because he's a boy.
Right. I mean, it's just
There is no other reason.
it's just this little hint of sexism that we see brought out in children characters, where it's for no other reason than he is a little boy is he sent off to do this thing, and it doesn't.
And it's subtle sexism. It's subtle. I mean, we see the sister, we see her fight back against the critters and kind of protect her parents a bit.
Yeah.
So it's not like she's incapable. Oh my
Okay.
God, I love this.
All right, so this is the kind of horseplay that I can deal with. There's a comparable scene and he's talking to the ET doll right now and saying, "Who are you? Where are you from?" And I'm sorry, Critters, if you're trying to take on Steven Spielberg's movie E.T. with this little bit, I've got news for you.
He rips off E.T.'s head.
There is a better film of the two, and I'm afraid, as much as I like you, Critters, I'm sorry you're not it.
I don't think they're trying to say they're a better movie.
No, but I do feel like this movie, in more ways than one, is kind of an open challenge to the mini monster movies of the 1980s, and it stomps on them all. Like, it really does. But, that scene of horseplay where they're fucking around and they're tearing the pillows and they're eating the goldfish out of the tank, and I can deal with that. The comparable scene in Gremlins that we've already talked about is unbearable. It is unbearable.
I don't think it's unbearable, but I think it is a little much tonally. So I get what you're saying. And it's not even that it's much, it's just it doesn't make sense. But I mean, all of the Gremlins movies do that, so
this is the scene where Brad catches up with the bounty hunters in the police car, and he recognizes Johnny Steele. He recognizes the bounty hunter's name is Ugg.
yeah.
So I guess he escaped from Camp Anawana to hunt aliens. Never mind. So he does. Someone does finally recognize
I get
Johnny
it. I
Steele.
just don't care.
You never laugh at my jokes anymore.
I mean, I laugh at some of them.
Anyway, yeah. So someone does finally recognize Johnny Steele, and I think he's the only one in the entire movie who does. Is that right?
Yeah. Brad?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's the only one who recognizes Johnny Steele.
That's such a problem.
But I said that already.
But do you see this? These characters are improvising weapons, right? And it's not that they don't have weapons already. And Dee Wallace is fucking going for it. God, I love this person. She's amazing.
But yeah, anyways, going back to what I was talking about, I cannot envision a situation. Okay, so if you and your brother, you're both boys, there would be no question.
Are we going
right?
back to the? Yeah. The older brother would go.
There would be no question.
The bigger, stronger, more capable.
Had time to learn more, so thus smarter.
Yes.
I'm not saying
Right.
that our
Bigger,
brothers are less intelligent than us,
God,
but
Dee Wallace is a fucking badass. Look at her just walking down the hall with this shotgun, fucking shit up. It's amazing. And I was saying they have improvised weapons, which at this point, if you're in a horror movie like against monsters or some kind of creature or some kind of assailant of any kind, and you don't improvise weapons if you don't have another choice, I get frustrated. We watched fucking Hush the other night.
yeah, we did.
And it drove me crazy that I mean, you're talking about a character who sets horror movie heroines back 30 fucking years. I swear to God, oh my God, she
I
drove
don't
me
think it was that bad. We don't need to have this whole conversation.
We don't have to have the hush conversation,
we don't need to have the whole conversation.
I did not care for that movie.
I didn't hate it. There were things about it that I liked, actually. I thought some of it was cool. But no, I agree. I was very frustrated. There were a couple moments in particular where there was absolutely no reason that she shouldn't just finish it, just end the movie. Sure. And it didn't happen repeatedly. So
right. But I mean, you look at this movie from 1986 and you've got fucking Dee Wallace. And look at her. Like, look at her. She's acting. She is fucking acting in this movie. Like, for real.
Okay, here's another moment right here. I cannot imagine a situation in which the parents could be made to stay in the car when their child went back into the house. Can't imagine that.
It's not that the parents are being made, it's that the father is holding the mother. The father wants Brad to go. He wants him to go ahead and go.
To go get the cat?
I don't know, I guess.
Look.
Oh, and this is the scene where the critter comes out of the toilet, or it's trying to escape.
It lifted up the lid, though.
It's trying to escape down the drain, and Ugg blows it away with his
blows the whole toilet up.
Huge cannon. Oh, that's great.
It looked like a penis right then.
Oh, did it? Do you think that was intentional? You think that was a phallic symbol right there, the gun?
I mean, it usually is.
But yeah, anyway. So we're coming up pretty close to the end of this movie. And I've got a little bit of trivia. I want to talk about the director, Stephen Herek.
Oh, I like it when the critters say, "Let's roll."
Oh, yeah, that's cute. Let's literally roll. Okay, Stephen Herek, this was his first film, just like screenwriter Dominic Muir. And he went on to direct such films as Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, The Three Musketeers, the Disney version, live-action Disney version, Mr. Holland's Opus. So those are not bad films. I think the worst of those is probably Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, probably. I still like that movie. And then I think he did the 101 Dalmatians live-action remake. And then you can see the point in which his career kind of started to decline. He made Holy Man, starring Eddie Murphy, Rockstar, starring Mark Wahlberg, and Life or Something Like It, a.k.a. Angelina Jolie Looks Weird as a Blonde. Let's Not Do That Again, the movie.
Yeah, I don't know any of those movies, so...
Do you have anything to say about the music?
About the music? I didn't do any research on it. I have that to say about it.
You know why? Because it's unremarkable. That's why.
Yeah.
This is actually David Newman is the composer on this. This is his first feature film as well, although he did score Tim Burton's Frankenweenie short. But he has...
Oh, from when?
The short, from back in the...
The old one?
The old black and white.
Oh my God, I loved that as a child.
Yeah. Frankenweenie's great.
I loved that as a child.
Have you seen the movie?
The new one? No.
It's pretty good. He's worked pretty consistently through the years, making serviceable if forgettable and
how'd they make that kitty so angry?
And I don't know, and totally unoffensive scores for films. He did both Bill and Ted movies. He did Little Monsters. He did The Mighty Ducks. He did Coneheads, The Flintstones, The Nutty Professor, The Phantom, Jingle All the Way, Operation Dumbo Drop, Galaxy Quest, tons of stuff. Like tons of stuff that go to his IMDb page, look at his body of work, and you'll go, wow, I don't remember the music from any of these fucking movies. I don't remember it being good or bad or there. Like, that's the music that he makes. I think his standout work is probably the score for Serenity, because he did do that, and I remember liking that music quite a bit.
I do too.
But yeah, David Newman, composer for Critters and a shit ton of other movies that you don't remember the movies or the music from.
Well, then he's the kind of composer who does just like standard. It's just like, we need a movie score that just sounds like movie score.
He's a stalwart. He's just, he's dependable, and he's there, and he will make sure your movie has music.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. No, this was the kind of movie where I didn't notice it at all, for better or worse.
Yeah, that's just the kind of music that he makes.
So Brad went back in to get Chewie the cat, which is the appropriate decision if your kitty is
look
inside
at Dee Wallace.
house.
Look at this. Look at her performance. She is so committed.
I know.
I love her.
She's fantastic.
I love Dee Wallace.
That's okay. It's fine.
Laura Dern and Dee Wallace. That's all I need.
That's fine.
Every movie, Laura Dern, Dee Wallace. Throw me a Jodie Foster every once in a while. I'm good.
Anyway, so Brad goes back in to get Chewie because appropriate to return for your cat. And when he goes, he is confronted by Giant Critter, which is awesome. And it gets blown away. But then his sister has been taken, so he goes to get his sister. He goes to rescue sister. And that's where we are in this movie. I did want to mention one letdown I had with this movie. I've already mentioned a bunch of letdowns, but this is a not so serious letdown. The letdown,
okay.
The letdown is if this is a movie that features bowling prominently, we've repeatedly referenced it, and this is a movie with rotund, ball-shaped rolling creatures. Don't you immediately think that there's definitely going to be a scene where the critters get rolled into bowling pins?
Missed opportunity.
Right?
Straight up missed opportunity. Wow.
It doesn't happen.
That's amazing. I feel like... going back to the missed opportunity I mentioned before with Johnny Steele being recognized as a rock star because he's wearing alien clothes and he looks like a rock star, and that just kind of makes sense, but then no one recognizes him. I feel like that gets kind of ruined because he has a partner, and I think they probably gave him a partner so that he would have someone to talk to, and I don't know that that's really necessary.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
So I think the partner was probably written in as just a way for him to communicate with somebody.
And it kind of shows with like
It
the I
does.
can't find a thing to transform into and all of that. And you're just like, but it never really matters what he transforms
Yeah.
into. Like it wounds up being
But
townspeople and people.
Thanks to that character, we get boobs in the second movie.
We do get boobs in the second
Boobs
movie.
in the second movie.
And
Big
let's
fake boobs.
talk about the other movies a little bit more before we're at the end here. Right now, Brad is sneaking into the critter ship to save his sister.
Why do they take the sister?
I don't know.
In the first place. That's something I don't understand.
I guess to eat later?
Maybe, I guess, because they
Snack for the ride home?
They just kill everybody. Like, we don't really know their motivations other than they're little shits.
They like to eat.
They like
They
to
like
eat.
food. They eat everything.
Okay, and so we see them, enacting those character traits by eating whatever it is that they come across, people mostly, and fish and little stuffed animals and pillows and whatever. But then they take her away to the ship without eating her.
They didn't eat the cop.
I think they ate part of him. I think they ate enough of him.
Okay. There was enough of him left for a dude to transform into him.
They got
so.
their fill, yeah. And now we've got the giant critter that we never get a really
I
good
know we
look
don't get a
at.
really good look, and I want a good look at the giant critter. I want to see it for real, and I'm kind of disappointed that I don't get to. Okay, so talking about the other movies a little bit more, we've said the second one is the Easter one, and it's
Oh,
fantastic.
the second one is the Easter one?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not this one?
What?
No, I guess this is... Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
What?
I'm sorry. Continue.
Okay.
Don't linger on it.
No. Okay.
I thought you were talking about this one. I thought there was some mention of Easter in this. It is the
No,
sequel.
It's the sequel.
Yes.
There's a big Easter egg hunt.
That's right.
And
You're
a
right.
bunny rabbit
That's
suit.
right. And the sheriff dies. The new sheriff
in
dies
the bunny
in
rabbit
the bunny suit. Yes.
Okay, so
Great scene.
it's a ridiculous movie. It's fantastic because there's a giant critter ball at the end where they all like meld together and they
Yes.
make one giant critter.
It's
and
pretty great.
It's really awesome.
I mean, it's not a good movie, but it's not certainly not. It's fun.
It verges on the bad good, but a little more not bad. And a little more like passable movie, but then when it is bad, it's bad good. So, and one of the cool storylines that happens in that movie is that Charlie, who we're gonna see him at the end of this movie kind of walk away with the bounty hunters, and in the second movie we're gonna find out.
I'm sorry, I just want to mention the critters are about to enact their final fuck you to the family before they
great.
escape because they're in the ship, and it's just like, and fuck your
you.
house.
And they blow up their house.
Totally blow up their
Because
house.
they're
It's
jerks.
Awesome.
No
Yeah,
other
look at
reason.
them. They're just
laughing. Just laughing about it.
It's
And
great.
of course, alcoholism saves the day
Yes.
because Charlie had a bottle of
yeah,
whatever.
that he made a bomb out of, made a little Molotov cocktail out of.
Right, and he throws it in, and that ignites Brad's firecracker,
Right.
which explodes the ship.
Yes.
Which, man, that is a shitty ship if it's going to be exploded
That's right.
by
So like the male
child's firecracker.
the men's faults in this movie end up being useful, right?
yes.
But the females' faults in this movie, are there any? Are there any female faults in this
I
movie?
don't know if there really are a lot though,
Okay.
or any. But in other movies, yes, I know
Sure,
what you're saying.
sure.
Okay, so anyways, at the end of this movie, Charlie's about to walk off with the bounty hunters, and then it's really cool because in the second movie, Charlie comes back. Brad comes back too in the second movie. It's Brad and Charlie in the second movie. And then by the third movie, the only character that is the same is Charlie, and he's also in the fourth movie too. But in the second movie, Charlie comes back, and like you were saying, in this movie, I don't really care about his character.
Brad
Like,
comes back too.
Yes, I already said
okay,
that.
I'm sorry. Wasn't paying attention.
I know. Charlie, you were saying you don't really like or care for, not that you don't dislike, but you just don't care for Charlie
in this movie. I grow to like him over the movies.
over the other
Yeah.
movies. And the reason being primarily for me is that in the second movie, he goes to outer space and he becomes a bounty hunter.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yeah, fuck yeah, that's exactly what
Yeah,
you do.
yeah.
You're the town alcoholic who no one believes because you believe in aliens, and you meet some, yeah, you leave with them.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
just leave with them. And he does.
It's like it's the sequel that we want to have to Close Encounters of the Third Kind, where we see what the fuck Richard Dreyfuss does with the aliens when he leaves with them.
Right, yeah. And in this case, he becomes a bounty hunter.
Yes.
and he kind of sucks at it, but he's okay.
Yeah.
And like, it's fun. They've got characterization. Again, they've got relationships.
Chewie made it out
Chewie
alive
survived.
somehow.
So again, movie points for this movie, saved the cat.
There's a shot here coming up where the house starts getting put back together and the cat gets blown toward the house or blown
It
away.
gets sucked toward the house.
And I don't know how they made the cat do that.
Oh, the scene that's about to happen?
Yeah. So all the house like being reconstructed stuff.
I don't really like this.
I think it's kind of cheap.
Yeah, I think so
It's
too.
kind of a jip.
Story wise, it looks good.
Story-wise, yeah.
It looks very good.
I mean, it's a really this right here where they're blowing the
How
cat
did
away.
they
I
do
don't know
that
how
to
they
the
did
kitty?
that.
I guess they.
It's a good shot, but I kind of feel bad for the cat, wondering how they made that happen. I mean, all of the house coming back together is just reverse footage, but it looks good. Like I think it actually looks fine. You can tell it's reverse shots, but
it looks good.
I don't know, I think it
so.
looks
No,
good.
that's not cheap. It's cheap storytelling
Story-wise,
wise,
yeah.
is what you mean. It's cheap in the sense of I want to see them have to deal with the fact that their house is destroyed
wanna
and
see
that these
them-
critters have screwed up
Yeah.
their lives.
Well, it's also kind of them building their house back together is kind of a metaphor for them coming back together as a family.
Right.
You know, and if they don't have to do that, it's
Chewie's in the mailbox.
cat in the mailbox. But the house reconstruction is a little reminiscent of the Poltergeist house, I think, being destroyed. But the effect is totally different, but it just kind of reminds me of that.
And also at this point, people are going to jail. There is a dead cop.
Oh, yes.
People
Someone has to answer for the death.
that shot up the church, shot up the bowling alley. And I think if the house had stayed destroyed, there would have been more evidence to be like, look, something crazy happened.
I do want to mention the thing that this movie was based on is something you may have heard of if you're into like UFO alien shit. The Kelly Hopkinsville encounter. Have you heard of this?
No.
On the evening of August 21st, 1955, 5 adults and 7 children arrived at the Hopkinsville, Kentucky police station claiming that that small alien creatures from a spaceship were attacking their farmhouse and they had been holding them off with gunfire for nearly 4 hours. 2 of the adults, Elmer Sutton and Billy Ray Taylor, who apparently were like carnies. They were carnies that were like on break or just hanging out.
Okay.
They claimed that they had been shooting at 12 to 15 short, dark figures who repeatedly popped up at the doorway or peered into the windows. This event inspired Dominic Muir and Stephen Herrick to write Critters, and Critters has been criticized or crittersized Brought jokes today, as you can see. Of
Unfortunately.
course, for trying to ride on the coattails of Gremlins' success. But Herrick has insisted that Critters was written months before Gremlins started production, and he and Muir intentionally rewrote portions of this movie to remove some of the coincidental similarities between the two movies.
I believe that. I believe it.
The gremlins in Gremlins are actually modeled more after the reported descriptions of the Kelly Hopkinsville creatures
You mean-
than these are.
okay.
The gremlins in Gremlins are more modeled after those creatures that were reported than these, because these are just like little hedgehog dudes. But that's it. I thought that was kind of cool.
That is cool. Thanks for doing that research. Because I didn't do that.
You heard it here first. Maybe not first, but you heard it here also that Critters is better than Gremlins.
If nothing else, it is definitely a good movie that doesn't get any recognition at all.
Sure, a good, if flawed, not
Yeah, but
not
I
perfect,
mean,
but totally
come on.
enjoyable, wonderfully paced, lots of good effects, good jokes, good characters, good performances. I mean, it's
Awesome creatures.
it's a good movie. Come on, just deal with it. Okay, Siskel and Ebert gave it 2 thumbs up. Are we going to give it 2? Let's give it 2 thumbs up. We did it. There it is.
I would give it more thumbs than that.
We only have so many thumbs. Let's not waste them.
Anyways, so you should watch this one, and you should then watch the sequel too, and then you can skip number 3, even though it's Leonardo DiCaprio's debut film.
Even though it stars Academy Award winner Leonardo DiCaprio.
It is so bad.
It's really fucking
It's
bad.
not fun bad either.
It's when the series finally actually started copying Gremlins, and it's terrible.
And it's just slow and stupid and not fun and awful, and I really hate it. But then 4 kind of...
Power of the Night was actually performed by Terrence Mann, the guy who played Johnny Steele / Ugg.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
But then 4 kind of comes back. So if you watch the series and you get to 3 and you're just like, oh my God, I can't do this anymore. Why would, obviously it's going to get worse. No, it actually doesn't. Hold on and go to 4.
4 is not good, but it's not terrible, and they really commit to the sci-fi.
Oh
thing.
yeah, it is a straight up in space sci-fi.
It's an Alien ripoff kind of. It's
Mm-hmm.
like an Alien clone, and Angela Bassett's in it, and Brad Dourif's in it, and you can't really go wrong. I mean,
it's the kind of movie where you're like, oh, I'm gonna need a zoom and enhance on that.
can I get a zoom and enhance on that? Can we zoom and enhance, please?
We're gonna need to magnify by 10.
Magnify by 10, zoom and enhance, please. Thank you.
It's
one of those movies.
and that's a plus for me. So
Let's get a zoom and enhance on this podcast. All right, I think we're done.
okay. Anything else to say? Last thoughts?
I think that's it. Wrap us up.
That's it for Popcorn Poops. Don't forget to stop by our website at popcornpoops.com. Follow us on Twitter at Popcorn Poops or individually I'm at J. Casper Kramer.
And I am at Dusty Cram Cram.
Like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on iTunes or Stitcher. If you want to donate to the show, there's a donate button on the main page of our website. And of course, there's the Popcorn Poops merchandise shop. If you want to help out the show in a different way and get a free audiobook at the same time, go to audibletrial.com/popcornpoops and sign up for the free trial.
And don't forget to jump over to twitch.tv/thepixelpoops, and follow us and turn on notifications so you'll know when we go live, whenever that is.
Every week we feature a friend of the Popcorn Poops podcast. And this week we are featuring who?
The As You Watch podcast. So if you'll stick around after the show for a few words from them, I'm sure they would appreciate it.
That is this week's Poo Pal.
And we would too. And if you are a podcaster, webcomic artist, YouTuber, or any kind of content creator, and you're interested in becoming a Poo Pal and getting shout outs on our podcast and on social media, you can contact us through Facebook, Twitter, or email to contact@popcornpoops.com.
What are we watching next week?
Next week, we are wrapping up #1986 month with Howard Deutsch's Pretty in Pink. That's going to be an interesting episode, I think. It's my pick. And do you have any idea what I think about this movie?
I know you like it.
Do you? Okay. Well, we'll see. Until next time, take care.
Bye-bye.
We are the Popcorn Poops.
Hello, everybody. On behalf of Nick, Joe, and Vern, we would like to invite you back for a brand new season of the As You Watch podcast.
On our upcoming season, we will be talking about franchises, trilogies, and series of movies that you will recognize and some that you may not.
We will also continue to post fun and insightful interviews with many people in the world of entertainment, as well as feature a lot of great guests from other sites and podcasts.
So be sure to check us out on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Podomatic, and on Facebook.
And don't forget to check out our older episodes on our site, asyouwatch.wordpress.com.